All right, and with 2025 nearing its end, it is time for another roster showcase. For those who are unaware, this is an annual tradition I do where I take out all the engines out of hibernation and storage and place them very carefully on this layout, and really hope none of these fall off the edge here. Yeah, so this is a video I show where I show off every single engine I have. I go through them one by one, and the purpose of this is not to show off the amount of engines I have, because there's people with a lot more engines than I do, obviously. More so it's to kind of give an update on various projects I've been working on. Certain engines I've worked on, but I didn't make a dedicated video showing what the progress I've done. And so for those who are curious and like to keep track and updated on the stuff I've been working on, this video is for them, just to kind of show you guys what I've been working on in the background this past year, because I have been doing a decent amount of work here. And also it's a cool video because I do this every single year. It's cool to see how the numbers have changed, how many engines I have, which ones are gone, which ones are new, and seeing where the focus shifts. Like, for example, if I got rid of some Santa Fe engines and got more Pennsylvania railroad engines or whatnot. But yeah, now that being said, because there are a lot of engines, I do plan to go through them one by one. I will try to put some timestamps in the video below. We'll be starting with some Pennsylvania engines, then we'll switch over to New York Central, which is around here, and then Santa Fe, and then some miscellaneous diesels and other steam engines, and we'll go from there. Anyways, we'll start with some Pennsylvania engines. All right, and we'll start off Pennsylvania Road strong with 8 K4s. Now, I've always believed that you should never really have two of the same exact engine. You should always have a little variety. So I have 8 K4s, and these 8 K4s I've modified to make every single one of them different. We'll start here with the 2 BLI post-war K4s. This one's got a slate pilot, and this one's got a cast pilot. The cast pilot one also has a train tone antenna that I added. This is a Bachmann K4 1361 that I've heavily super detailed. Right here is another engine that I haven't made any progress on, but this is a very special engine of mine. This is a long time goal of mine to collect this thing. This is a Challenger Imports Streamline K4, absolutely gorgeous engine here. Right here we have 4 MTH K4s. We have a post-war, 2 pre-wars, actually 3 pre-wars. This one's a pre-war with the striping on the tender, early style, which is why I left the cab roof red still. And these two are later pre-wars. This one I renumbered to number 8, and has some mid-modernization features. This one's an early pre-war with a box spoke center disc driver, and this one's got welded spoke drivers on this post-war engine. Over here we have 2 Pennsylvania Road L1Ss. This is a pre-war by PFM United, and this is a post-war by BLI. Here we have 2 BLI I1SAs. This one's a post-war with the long tender, and this is a pre-war with the short tender. Over here we have 3 H9 classes. This is a new one. This is one I've been looking for a long time. This is a key post-war style H9 with the leaf blower or snow blower pipe, as well as a 70F something tender. Here is a Sunset H9, also with the post-war mods. I haven't painted this one yet, and this I'm going to pair with one of the shorter tenders. You see this on the MTH H10s. And then here is another Sunset H9. This one has the longer passenger style tender here that I'm also in the process of repainting and doing such. Here we have a BLI M1B. Pretty much stock with a few details added, and TCS well sound and upgraded headlight. Here is a very special one. This is one I spent a lot of time on this year. This is a BLI T1 with the slipping drivers. I actually was able to modify the mechanism enough to make it so the front drivers can actually slip, simulating wheel slip, and that was really cool. It's a really cool video. If you guys are curious, I'll have it linked in the video on the top right, but also you guys can check it out in the link in the description. All right, and then over here, some more Pennsylvania. You got 2 H10s. This is a BLI H10 with the rounded coal bunker, which I'm still working on right now. And then here is a Sunset H10, which I'm gonna pair with one of those L1 tenders, which I think is a cool combination. You see a few of those in real life. Here is a stock Sunset H6SB right now. It's still stock. Don't really plan to do much to it. I think the Sunset Prestige ones look pretty good. It's got the front air tank here, and then the standard style tender, and the trash can air tanks underneath the cab. Here we have a BLI E6. This is what I modified. I made the running boards thinner, and I modified the headlight to make it a little better. I am in the process of obtaining, the replacement drivers that make them so the counterweights are corrected now. Still in the process of that, but once that's obtained, this engine should be all set. Here is an Alco G5 made by Samhang. So these are beautiful engines. And yeah, I was gonna wait for BLI to make a G5, but I gave up when I found one of these for really cheap. And these are gorgeous. And then we have two Key Pennsylvania Road B6s. This is a B6 SB. Pretty standard looking engine, but with the modernized cab. You can see this. And then this one's got the standard cab with a V6 SA, so there's no bell pair firebox. And there's a steam line for a leaf blower or a snow blower attachment, which is very cool. This is number 3. And then over here we have a Sunset Prestige Pennsylvania Road A5. And I think with that wraps up Pennsylvania. We can now move on to the New York Central. So over here we have a bunch of Mohawks. We'll start over here. This is the L4B that I just recently modified. Painted the smoke box dark and modifying the headlight, replacing the sound, doing some other detail changes. Over here we have two Key L3Bs. I replaced the MTH one I had last year with 2 keys. I plan to modify one of them to keep the smoke deflectors, and then the other one I was going to make it an earlier style without the smoke deflectors and a different air pump shield. But these are gorgeous engines. Long in the waiting. Been wanting one of these forever, for many years now. Here we have a L3A, which I'm gonna keep secret for now because there's gonna be a video about that very, very shortly. But I spent most of the year actually working on this engine. This is a super detailed L3A. I'm very excited about it. It is number 3001. Next up we have two L2 Mohawks. This is an L2B. You can tell by the Alescos here, and the shorter coal bunk and no water scoop. And then here's an L2C. This one has the coffin feed water heater, so it's hidden inside the smoke box. This one's by NJCB and this is by Key. This is a Key 1989 run. This is an NJCB that I painted myself. Over here we have the final Mohawk, which is an L2A by Key. This one is still sitting in its condition. I know a lot of people have been asking me to paint this one finally, but I just haven't had the chance to do so yet. But this one will be painted, and once that's painted, the Mohawks and L2, I guess, L3Bs, I guess, will be set. Here is a new acquisition. This is a PFM Ski H10B. Painted for Big 4. This one's got a bunch of detail inaccuracies. I was gonna make a video about it, but the detail accuracies are so numerous that I just really can't. I'm still trying to find a way to say, put that into one cohesive video. That's not just a snooze fest. But yeah. Talking about Mikados, we have 3 more New York Central Mikados. We have an H7E, which I'm going to modify into an H7A, or H7B or H7C, I'm not really sure yet. And then we have 2 H6As. These are USRA Mikados that New York Central had a lot of. This is from Trix, and this one's from MTH. Over here we have 2 New York Central U3 classes. This is a U3A and this is a U3B. The U3B has the special headlight in the center position, which is very cool, as well as some other details in the firebox. And this is just pretty much a stock U3A. Both of them have new sound decoders. So yeah, great runners. Pro 2000 makes some fantastic running steam. Yeah. Here we have 2 K5Bs. So this one's got a later cell tender, and I'm going to modify the front here a little bit differently. And this is a stock Sunset K5B. These are both Sunset, by the way. But yeah, so these are going to be really exciting. I'm really excited about these 2 engines, but they need a lot of work before I can, paint them and stuff. And then wrapping up New York Central, we have over here, we have a project engine here. This is a Tenshoto 442 that I haven't had any chance to work on yet. Here is a stock Alco K3Q, which I also haven't had any chance to work on yet. This is a much, later down the line project. Here we have a Key K11E that I got acquired. The factory paint though is pretty terrible. It's like chipping away and like rotting away almost, so I need to actually strip this and repaint it. Also came with some missing details, so this is actually a work in progress. But this will be really cool once I get it up and running. And then here we have 5 Hudsons. We have a West Side Super Hudson, I guess you call it. It's a de-streamlined Dreyfus J3A. We have a BLI Dreyfus. This one I painted, by the way, and I also painted this one. This is a West Side J1E that I heavily modified to get all the details corrected, and also painted and added sound recently, actually. This one will also have a video about it very soon. And then we have 2 BLI J1Ds. These 2, if you guys don't remember, there was a video I made this year about upgrading these with ESU lock sound. They're great runners. They look amazing, and very happy with them. And then finally, the last New York Central engine is this little fella right here. This is an NJCB D1A. It is a 466T Haven't had the chance to add sound to this engine yet, but I did paint this one myself, and I think it turned out really nice. So yeah, and that wraps up New York Central. All right, now moving on to the Santa Fe collection, which is gradually shrinking over time. We have two Santa Fe consolidations. This is a 1950 class made by Sunset, and this is a 2507 class made by Hallmark, which I upgraded a while ago. Here we have a Key 3450 class Hudson. This one's actually a really cool model. Haven't done much to it. And then here we have an NJCB Santa Fe Atlantic. This is a 1491 class. This is actually my first ever brass engine. I think it's gorgeous. I still love it to this day, and can't wait to paint it one day. But yeah, actually the Atlantic wheel arrangement is my favorite steam locomotive wheel arrangement. I think it's just a really beautiful, like, compact passenger engine that has really sleek, you know, I guess, appearance. Anyways, really like it. Here we have two Mikados. This is a 4000 class made by BLI, and this is a 3160 class made by Key, which I added easy sound and stuff too. Here we have two more BLI engines. This is a 3800 class Santa Fe, and this is a 3751 class Northern. All three of these actually I upgraded, I think it was last year or something like that. I upgraded the headlights and the front air detailing, as well as adding some speaker enclosures. I think it really makes the engines look a lot better. I did make a video about that, so if you're curious, you can find that in my channel. And then finally here we have a stock unmodified PFM United 3776 class engine. This one doesn't run on my layout because of this tiny little curves, so that's sitting, and one day it's a low priority basically. And then finally wrapping up with the miscellaneous theme here, we have two nickel plate Berkshires. I just can't help but not have two of these. They're just so beautiful. They're really pretty engines. These are made both by Pro 2000. I have one with the Mars Light, one without. So yeah. And then we have two Bachmann Spectrum engines. This is a 210 Decapod, and this is a 280 consolidation. And then finally here, I also have a soft spot for small steam engines. So I have an IHC Bolt B&O C16 class Docksider, and then also a C16A class by Ribarossi, which I added CAN motors and DC sound to a while ago. And then finally, we have the electrics and diesels. This is a very small roster, just because I mainly focus on steam and that's my era, but I do have a soft spot for some of these engines. So despite not having catenary on my layout, or modeling Amtrak or the 1950s, I still have some of these just because I really like them. But anyways, we have an ABBA set of Ather Genesis F7s. I'm actually in the process of upgrading these with the working class lights and, you know, all that stuff, all that jazz, upgrading them to Tsunami 2. We have three Amtrak engines. These are my all-time three favorite Amtrak locos. And a Phase 3 F40PH by Kato, a Phase 3 Toaster AM7 by Atlas, and a ACS 64 class by Bachmann. I know that Atlas actually is re-announcing these with the marker lights this time, which is very exciting. I actually might get a Phase 5 of that, maybe. Just because those are so nice. But I like the Phase 3 without the marker in the front. I like how the Amtrak logo's on the side. I don't think the Phase 3 looks quite right. Or I don't think it looks as good with the marker lights in the Phase 3 scheme. So anyways, yeah. And then finally, some other miscellaneous. We have a Pennsylvania Railroad P5A Modified. This is by Alco. I did actually sell the GG1, the Bachmann GG1 I had. Quick tangent. I told myself that until I get catenary one day in a much more future layout, there's no reason to collect electric locomotives. So I got rid of that one because, you know, GG1s and P5As are relatively easy to collect. So there's no point, you know, buying them now and just having them collect dust. They're never being run. So I got rid of those. But I am keeping this one just because it's going to be really hard to find another one of these in the future. So anyways, yeah, keeping this for now. And then we have two little critters. We have a little Bachmann Bernie, I think it's a safety trolley. Very pretty. A beautiful engine, really underrated actually in my opinion. And then my Athearn EMD Model 40 sitting there. So that wraps up all the engines, and we'll conclude this video. Alright, and that wraps up the roster showcase for this year. Overall, the numbers have dropped, as I said. There are currently 74 engines on this table right now. Last year I actually had 80, so I was able to successfully downsize the roster by 6 engines, which might not sound like a lot, but if you think about it, 6 engines is, you know, opening up this entire track right here. So it's actually a decent amount of engines in my opinion. That being said, a lot has changed. I've bought and sold a bunch of stuff, and so if you guys are curious about the full numbers and details and analytics, it's down in the description below. I try to write a little thing there, but yeah, overall I think a lot of time was spent this year mainly focusing on some more niche things like working on ESU lock programmer stuff, as well as we're spending a lot of time on the Pennsylvania T1 back there, as well as this engine right here. But some other progress have been done here and there, and overall I thought it was a pretty successful year, but I hope obviously 2026 will be an even better year where I get some more projects done. I think it'll be really exciting. I want to paint some Pennsylvania engines for the first time, which will be kind of scary because Pennsylvania engines require 5 different colors of paint, so it's a lot of masking involved, but I would love to get into that kind of stuff if I can find the time. But anyways, yeah, it's been a really great year this year, and looking forward to 2026, and I'll keep you guys posted on the projects if they turn out good. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you guys had a great holiday season and, continue to celebrate New Year's, which is coming up very soon. But this will probably be the last video of 2025. But yeah, looking forward to another great year. So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed. And I'll see you guys next year. Take care.